The secondary section.
Well, probably not, would it make all right, thank you for coming. It's supposed to be here, right? And did you see how the weather turned around?
Yes.
It feels like the world wasn't ending, right? Crazy.
Hurricanes are too. Next thing.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order, 7:08. Okay.
Madam Chair, you want me to call roll?
Yes.
Felicia Salazar,
Present.
Madeline Santana, present. Trent Zarin, present. Elsa Reeves. Suzanne Chapani,
Present.
Esther Colon, present. Charles James, no sign. Hermione Ibarra, Herminia.
She,
She fell, she said.
Yeah. Medical.
Okay, so it's. Wow. Elizabeth Turner,
Present.
Z. Iman, she's also sick.
Yep.
Strep throat. And Carla Costa,
Absent.
anybody know?
She's absent.
Just regular
She's
absent. Okay. Okay, Madam Chair, we have quorum.
Mhm. Okay, any public comments?
I don't have any.
Any deferrals, additions, deletions?
Actually, yes, I had, oh, no, sorry, no, I don't. It's there.
Continue, I have a beer, but I have to. Sorry.
No,
okay.
You were here.
We have one. I withdraw that, Madam Chair, I don't have.
Okay.
Nothing on the first deletions? Okay. Review and approval of minutes. We have a bunch of them, so let's look at them real quick.
I had a correction to the minutes, because I noticed after I sent them out that, I had put for staff, Io Bastola, and she wasn't here, and you, Jonathan, Io,
It was, you're right.
Oh, it was John.
Which
John's
means-
here.
The March.
the March 8th, after I sent them out, I realized that I had maybe.
6, okay, it's not, I don't, it's Jenna.
Who did the agenda? This one. Yeah, I'm curious who did this. Oh, who did the agenda? Alicia. You did this book.
Yeah, announcement is. Done already. We already did it. We already just.
Yeah, March 12th. Very end?
No, no, at the
Page
first
eight, page eight, page eight.
Okay, that's-
Page 8,
The first
sorry.
minutes
It says
are
that
the
last year.
committee meeting right here.
Okay, it says I and it was
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Oh, thank you.
What's Jonathan, that's him?
Gil,
G-I-L.
G-I-L. You had a pleasant meeting. Huh? You had a pleasant meeting.
Oh,
You had a pleasant meeting, Jonathan.
Oh,
I haven't
yes.
seen him in a while.
it's a nice kid. Yay. Are we looking at the first one, which is the subcommittee for the brochure? The short one. Because those who were present at the subcommittee can look at it. The second was the prime month, which I think we had before. That's why I'm confused, because I think we had this at our March date. Right?
I'm not sure, that's what the.
Right, Susan?
That's the one with Jonathan with you, so.
Yeah.
Remember that if the minutes are received after the agenda is generated, it's technically not part of the agenda, even if somebody brings in a
Oh,
copy.
okay.
So we're approving all the, or trying to approve all the minutes.
Well, March 15th was basically the all in preparation for women of distinction.
That was a
That's a
special call.
subcontinue,
Right,
yeah.
that just kind of summarized that, so that was everything. for
So
that.
that was, okay, so that's what it is.
And over and that one.
Last but not least, our official.
I'm sorry, on the minutes for the special call for women of distinction, item number page 13, item number 5.
PowerPoint.
Yes,
Oh, they have the numbers or.
it was that said, PowerPoint, you run on a loop showing the winners in their categories. We didn't have it on a loop.
No, yeah,
You guys
we-
requested, you changed it to doing one at a time.
Right.
Yeah. But I thought we decided at that meeting.
Mhm.
The minutes should reflect not on a loop, but
Yeah, that's a correction
with a
to the
click.
minutes.
one at a time. We kept going back and forth. Yes, I got it.
Yeah, I saw the video, it works. Right.
Yeah, because I had to do the clicking.
Ah, I was trying to figure out who had done it.
And then Hermie came up with a good idea with both click and on the loop while we're walking around, but then that's different. It got difficult because we can't stop it. If it's, I'm like, you know what, I'm clicking.
So what we're adding is.
Number
the
5
Pictures to be shown one at a time.
as the
One at a time.
With
One
the
at a
clicker,
time.
yeah. the motion was changed.
Section.
not
Anything else? Budget is fabulous. You know, when you send me this. I don't know, I don't have my computer, so I'm gonna have the phone and everything is like.
Oh.
Anyway,
Let me know next time and I'll send it to you in an Excel instead. I can download it as Excel instead.
yeah, this, and then I try to respond to another email that you send me, and it's the same thing, so I must be in my, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Okay, any other changes to? The minute? Oh, let's look at the ones for first aid.
Any credit cards?
That's good. The budget. Public comments, who was that person who spoke to me?
Public comments when, who, where?
Was Angel
Ernesto,
The what?
the one who spoke with his mother, but she didn't speak,
Right,
it was Angel.
Angel,
It says it there. I remember seeing that name.
yeah, but it's a public comment, but his name is not there. Angel Maestro,
Just,
It says guest,
he's under guest.
guest.
Okay, so it says, it should say Angel appreciates the work of the CAC events. There you go.
I'm responsible for that myself.
And she didn't speak. I know, but she doesn't tell them, she doesn't really.
Who's Wendy?
The mom.
That is the
and
mom.
and the son.
I thought
Mom mentioned. she
Oh, those
wanted to
pictures
join.
are so nice.
You have not seen them?
I haven't seen.
Oh my God, she's so, oh, because you stood on that side,
That's right.
that's fine.
Anything else? I think we're ready.
Yeah, I want to make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes that have been
I
discussed.
second the words. Second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes. Any story? Okay.
Next,
Treasurer's report.
nothing to report.
Whatever.
I wanna go over the budget if you don't mind with you guys really quickly, because
Okay,
I
I understood them perfectly last night.
no, but for budget, I want you guys to understand whenever I print, you know, I try to print the budgets for you guys, every agenda. I want you guys to understand what it means when you're looking at it, because I've noticed that some committee members aren't really following
Well,
along.
I installed the system, so I know the type of fund.
So I'll go over one line item with you guys as an example. So for example, we have, let's look at concert on the fairway. The first line says original. That means you guys were originally given for this budget year, $10,500. That was your budget. Transfers and adjustments are anything that may come in from either donations, tickets that you sold, or if you transferred money from another line item, that's where you'll see that money. So then the first line plus the second line gave you revised budget of $11,050.
Right.
Your actuals are what you've spent to date so far. So you spent $14,197, and then that gives you an available budget of a negative $3,147. Now, I know we all know that we've been doing reallocations, but when this was printed, that's what the amount was.
We're okay with that.
Okay.
I have
I-
a question. Last night we had to speak about the reallocation of money, but it doesn't match the numbers, so do we have to resubmit it?
It doesn't, the reallocation, I'll remind you that for this one, you guys split it into two parts.
Yeah, which I didn't
So
know
you
it was
did
gonna-
one part earlier, like when you did that at the other council meeting, and the second part, you went to do that yesterday.
From what I remember, we did the 3,000.
147. You guys split that amount into two different reallocations.
That's what.
Right, she
confused
took a
me
portion
because
from July
I thought
fourth and
we already-
$1,000
I thought
from
we already-
Juneteenth.
But she printed
And
this
they-
on the seventh,
and
so
they
it's
said
just
they-
not showing yet.
So
Right,
Esther
right.
moved to, 2,189.50
Mhm.
from the 4th of July, which is what I spoke about
Mm-hmm.
last night. And then on the
And
other
1,000
minutes,
from Juneteenth.
yes, and then the other one was in the March meeting, which was the 950. So I guess when you add,
Yeah, but I think it was understood that what you guys were trying to do is find like, whatever, to cover the rest of that amount with those two amounts.
And it's not showing yet because this is. printed
Well,
on
it's not
April 7th.
showing one,
It's not
and
gonna-
also
it's not
because
gonna
it
show.
needs to go to council.
And
Yes.
it's, this is printed April 7th.
Yeah.
Last night,
And
so
it
it's not
wasn't
gonna show
approved
for a
anyway.
while.
It was approved,
yeah, it was
It
approved.
was approved, but
It was approved, they Well, just it asked that was a- first we take money from. It was grants that approved on a passed. contingency that you're gonna exhaust all other funds first, and we already did a look, you guys do not have any other funds.
Right, that's what I thought.
From past events.
exactly. New point.
So it's
Wait.
not gonna happen.
Except for women soon, once they come in.
Well, when we have to see when that comes in.
Yeah.
Right, if women, so for that reason, we're gonna hold on to that reallocation until everything.
Yeah,
clears up
because
for
I didn't
women.
sign them, the one for 150.
Yeah, I need to, that's why, so.
Why
until
was
you-
put there, I have no idea why.
It was put as reference, but
Oh,
it
as
will not go
reference.
to the, but the budget officer will not
Yeah,
do
because the
it
manager
until it's signed.
mentioned that.
Yeah, it will not be done until it's, but that was just to get the process moving. They know what you guys approved, the minutes were also. included.
As of now, we still have.
So right now, I won't have
$2,106
because I need the
Mhm.
women to come in to see if we can take
You
from
know
there
more or
before
less-
we hit Fourth of
you know
July.
more or less how much.
No, 'cause, I mean, that's something that the committee, if you guys want to have real-time numbers, you guys should have someone like staying on top of every single credit card transaction. I can tell you when I get the statement. but,
It
like,
is not that big of a deal. We have.
No,
survived
because
it
she's
before.
asking me how much it is. I don't
We have
know.
survived it
Okay.
before. I
But
mean, I
we
can
should
go
know
online and
A
do
month
it,
and a
but-
half, from now, you'll have a plan
Okay,
For which one?
for women.
Yeah, and I can tell you that
Now we're
the
gonna
things
have
that are
some
missing is
leftover.
the stuff that I bought from Publix on the credit card,
The water and.
the water and.
But that was
the,
after the fact, 'cause when she presented it yesterday, we didn't know what leftover we had.
No, no,
We're not
this
gonna
is
know
not,
yet.
we're not gonna know
We're
until the
not
credit
gonna
card's
For another
figured.
month and a half.
Didn't you go shopping?
Right,
She's done.
one was 20 something,
Is
one
it
was,
autumn when it's not?
But around 500.
no, not even close, not even
So,
close,
it's-
I'm way
let's
under
know
budget.
Where we
know,
have
That's
leftover.
why
Yeah.
we know Have access.
Okay.
Yeah.
We understand you loud and clear.
On the budget.
That's good because we need money for the other events.
I know.
that need to get funded.
We're done with the treasurer's
Yeah.
report.
That was the treasurer's report. Okay. The new administrative proposals, let's go through it real quick. I think we didn't have time to wrap it. And one thing that I like to mention before we start is, let's limit our comments to the minimum, because it's taking too long for our meetings and not fair to the rest of the members that, it's a long day and anyways.
This one. Page 15.
Page 15.
Okay. The first is the Culture First Committee publicity, is collaborating with Isle and to coordinate, make sure that we meet the deadline for the Lakers and so forth. If we're gonna write it on the press release, it needs to be reviewed by Claricel and so forth. So, like I mentioned here, it has to be done effective, accurate, and in a timely manner. Anybody interested in sharing that separately?
Well, you guys have to agree to a subcommittee first. To subcommittees, like the subcommittees have to be agreed upon as a committee.
Okay, do we agree to have the subcommittees?
You would
Can
wanna
we
make a
motion?
motion
You can make a
to have
motion
it?
if
Make
you
a
want,
motion.
and somebody seconds
Okay,
it.
let's make a motion, to, accept the subcommittees as administrative, subcommittees. Propose.
Any second?
Any second? Discussion? There's no second?
No second, the motion died.
Guys, this is something
We're
critical
gonna,
for this
we're,
committee.
we're supposed to
At
have
least
a
second for
conversation and
discussion.
stay on topic. There's no second for these here, so let's move on.
So are you saying then that we should have the subcommittee?
That's what.
Like,
The
if
motion
there's
for
no
Iowa.
second, if
Yeah.
there's no second, you're gonna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Later, if things don't. No second on this. Okay, move on to the next one.
We're on C right now.
Sponsorship campaign. Are we going one by one?
Oh, we're going by one, I thought it was the whole thing.
No, we disagreed on the whole.
Oh, I
thing.
thought your motion for people was to have all of these subcommittees, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
the motion.
Okay, and there was no second.
Okay, so it died.
Does anybody have a motion to approve either any of these?
And it was like,
Like, if you have if you wanna propose another
Do
motion.
you want
it's your opportunity.
motion. And we take one at a time because some of these we need. I know. the other-
Which ones do you want? 'Cause
What's
each of
the
them is a
motion? Yeah.
The motion is to accept these administrative subcommittees for our committee to, to work more efficiently.
I think that's. the
Felicia,
same.
that's the same motion. Do you have any?
Separately. I mean, let's do you don't want to do the publicity. By the sponsorship program, we need someone to help the sponsors. We cannot rely on just the town to provide us the sponsors and so forth.
Okay, so your motion is to approve the CAC sponsorship campaign committee?
Number item 2.
Number 2.
Any second?
I second. Any discussion?
What is it? I'm sorry.
No, that's,
This is-
this is what it's for. Go
This
ahead.
is an addition to another kind of subcommittees, separate from the event subcommittees. So it's like a
No.
subcommittee of a subcommittee.
This subcommittees are administrative. So we don't need to basically, we can meet to discuss anything that is of concern, immediate to some event that's coming up. But we need to get organized, because what happens is we're asking for sponsorship and then the town is trying, and thank God that, we got sponsorship from Memorial and so forth, but I mean, in the past, it was up to the members to bring sponsorships to the event. I remember going to businesses and getting sponsored, the same way that we go and ask for,
Donation.
donations.
I feel like each committee, each subcommittee for the events that we hold, that subcommittee should be responsible for securing
Instead of adding another layer.
sponsorship. So like when I serve on the book talk with Elsa, we look for our sponsors for that book
But you
talk.
wanna do it individually. Right, we can.
Yeah,
choose
I would
that.
agree with Susan too, like, depending on what event we're
Because it
doing, we can
depends.
determine whether we do need a subcommittee. Like, for example, the Women of Distinction, because we had so many, entries to review. That one really did need a subcommittee, but we were able to determine it once we got
But
there.
then, but she's saying this. as
This
a
is- this one is
separate,
for
like, this isn't-
sponsorship.
this isn't
Yes,
for
I know,
event.
this is just an
And
art
Susan is saying just built it into the
to
subcommittee
each
that you
one
already
that I
have.
already have, yeah.
That's my motion.
Well, hold on, wait,
But
there's
we
already
already
a
have
motion
a
on the
motion on the
table, so the
table.
motion on the table, and right now we're in discussion, is from Felicia to approve the CAC sponsorship campaign, item number 2, it was seconded by Liz, we're in discussion, any more discussion? Okay, we can vote, all in favor,
Aye.
1 in favor, any nays?
Nay.
Okay, the motion, does not pass.
Okay, so we have a new motion.
I would like to make a motion that the sponsorships are done by the subcommittee for each individual event. Depending on whether they're needed and
Mhm.
Motion to.
I don't think you really need a motion.
That's
Guys
how
already do that.
Okay, I'm confused.
That's what
I
we
was gonna
do.
say, do we really need to do a motion for that?
No.
That's what we-
because that's what we do.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
no
just-
motion's on the
Okay.
table.
Okay, call for artists. Is that the next one you want to look at quickly?
Yeah, this is something that I mentioned in the past.
Make the motion.
Yeah, please, the motion. Okay, the motion is to create, and I think we already started it, a database for musicians and artists, so they can, register and, I already actually put one in, so if you know artists or musicians that can. Raise your hand.
So what, we have to make the motion, so the motion
Okay, the
is.
motion is to
approve.
create a database to add artists and musicians for potential events.
so
Here's,
Motion on table is a motion to approve item number 3, call for artists, musicians, authors, subcommittee campaign. Any seconds to that motion?
I second.
Liz seconds the motion, discussion.
Didn't we already do this?
What you guys did was the database, you guys agreed as a committee that you wanted to create a database. We already
And you already
did that.
started.
We already created a database, but
But
Felicia's
this-
talking about a sub.
No, this was gonna be using a database that this committee to start,
Exactly, so this goes more in depth.
It's
The
more,
database alone has already been done.
okay, yeah, but it was created after the fact that we said.
But that's what she's saying, it's already done. No, what has been done is the database. The subcommittee is going more in depth with that database, right?
Help create, which is already done. Review and update on a regular basis of a roster of potential creators, which is in program.
I mean, that's a database. So
Why need it?
when we mentioned this previously, she went ahead and created the data. Because we had mentioned it in.
Yeah, you guys agreed on it.
I agree on it. So,
We're on page 15.
Any further discussion,
any further discussion?
question?
Charles, we're trying to get this, subcommittees created. One of them was, well, basically not for the policing subcommittee. This one we're gonna do by event. And then the third one right here is to create a database of musicians, authors, and artists.
So we're voting on having a subcommittee, not necessarily if it passes. Then who's gonna chair, then we have to vote on who's gonna chair and volunteer?
Yes, okay, so the motion on the table right now is to approve a call for artist campaign, item number 3. Motion was seconded by Liz, we're in discussion.
Ready to vote.
Are we ready to vote? No, I don't remember. Okay, so, votes all in favor? Liz, 2, okay, 2 in favor, against?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion, does not pass.
And that, to be clear, I would add to that motion that it's for an calling for a subcommittee. So then it sounds like you're just talking about the database.
Okay, I put that in discussion. Oh, okay, go ahead. Motion to approve subcommittee.
So, in other words, subcommittees are. Okay,
I'm sorry, I have to say something, Felicia. I personally, I don't know anybody else, I'm getting a little upset, not upset, that every time something, oh, it's not gonna happen, it might happen, we're not saying it negatively, it's just, that's why we have a motion, why we have a vote. I'm sorry, it's just, that's the third time you say, oh, I guess it's not gonna happen. And, you know, if you wanna think out loud, I'm gonna react.
Okay, let's then, do without the other four, just I make a motion to cross out the 4 and 5. And then I'll work on the historic one, with the town.
Okay, so two things on that. We don't have to make a motion to cross it. There's just no motion. If you guys want to move on to your next agenda item. And secondly, the historic archives, that's something you guys are gonna have to vote on as a committee if that's something you're gonna take. Maybe not as a subcommittee, but if it's something the committee is gonna put their name on. So she just said that she'll work on it, or unless you're doing it as an individual.
No, I cannot do it as an individual.
That's what I'm saying. So if you want to do it through the committee, like.
I think that the We Love House, we used to have that program before.
So are we still on the same agenda item? Because you guys said you were moving on.
Yeah, I just think that we're getting a little confused. So Felicia, if you want to discuss the Miami Lakes Historic Archives, I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Okay,
We want to approve a subcommittee for Miami Lakes Historic Archive.
or work with the town to.
Does anybody want to second the motion?
No second.
Okay, no second, my motion dies.
16.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Next item.
7A new business.
No, you guys on the 16th.
We're on old business.
We're not on old business.
Okay.
Subcommittee report.
Subcommittee report, women's distinction.
Oh, that's me. We had a great event. I think it was good. The brunch style worked out, in my opinion. Yes, there was a little bit of glitches, but fortunately, it was taken care of on the spot because I had planned for a table. There was another table extra we did not know that handicapped person was coming in a wheelchair. So that worked out perfectly for him, and having the little tables. Maybe for future, maybe have a couple of high tops.
I
What
was
do you call
gonna
that?
say high
Yeah.
top.
Cocktail tables.
I did not eat a morsel. Something about having a plate like this is.
We need to have.
Yeah,
If we're gonna have food.
Yeah.
But I still don't, that's the discussion for later, that the sit down round, because
That's another thing.
we had one that had 10, one that had 5, one had 9, and only one showed up. We would have been in the same boat as we had 2 years ago. So
It was
I
good.
like the idea. The food was good. The food was good. We had approved for 60 and we had 58 people show up. So
That's
that's
a
good.
great turnout.
Yes.
Take home goodies are delicious.
58, you said?
Yes, 58. I want to thank Felicia for the
Okay.
rum cake. The next time, if you do that again, have her cut it in half. Those pieces are huge. Not that I wouldn't eat the whole piece, but it was huge. Other than that, maybe for next year, since I'm the chair for that one, we'll revisit everything else.
Congratulations,
Good
Esther,
job.
again.
I have a comment, regarding, unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to mention some of our events. And, I know at Memorial Hospital, people did their little, description of what the service are, and Santa did too. So, but we didn't get a chance to do it. So let's make sure that either the beginning or at the end, because everybody at the end was rushing to get out. And I think that was important that people that were there knew what our activities, what was upcoming. I think the program didn't have any of our upcoming activities. So,
Well, I can speak as to that, because I was assigned with the clothing. The issue was that I was being told all the winners and everybody to show up as to take a photograph. So when, as I'm making my announcement and I have a mic in my hand, I was calling the winners and Santa and our sponsors to come and take pictures. As soon as I did that, there were some members in our committee that started bickering behind my back, where it was very obvious that there was some discomfort with some people from the public coming and taking photographs of us.
Absolutely.
So from there on, it was a debacle, like the closing didn't happen. So we didn't get a chance to thank everybody we needed to thank. We didn't get a chance to go over our next event. So I think if you're gonna assign somebody to do the closing, let them do the closing. If there's something that somebody doesn't want to take a picture with someone, stay out of the picture. We're not wasting film, it's digital photographs. If there's somebody that's not supposed to be there, we can take another picture. And there's a certain way and decorum to behave at events for us to do that. And I think that was why we couldn't finish the closing.
no, I'm not critical of you. I
No,
think
I'm
it's-
just saying because that was very embarrassing, because I was the one doing the closing. And I'm calling people to come and take photographs, and behind me, people are like, well, it's not supposed to be there. I don't even know, I don't know these people. They don't know me. I'm like, I'm the face of what we're doing. I could care less if they're in the photograph or not, you know? So it was kind of embarrassing to me to be put in that position. I just wanted to break it out. We're gonna have a group and we're all there. Our personal opinions of somebody that attends should not reflect the whole entire group, because I didn't know that person. I really don't care if she wasn't our photographer. And I think that took away from our closing, and it became very messy even when we were taking group pictures. So that's
Okay,
just something to
take
point
that
out,
into consideration next
Yeah.
time. So,
right? Especially if you're not the person with the mic, because you're the one there and I'm calling out folks and there's like, well, wait a minute, you just asked for them to come up, that's why they're up.
yeah, I don't know who was the one that asked.
There was a couple people behind me, so. You know, I don't want to point out anybody, it already happened, we can't change it, but moving forward, you need to control yourself a little.
Noted.
Noted. For next time.
Birthday.
First thing, real quick, I don't know if you had a chance to walk around the lobby and the corridor. We had, we finally were able to, hang the pictures from the artists. And we had a nice article in the Laker about it. So, and I already sent information to the Everglades people who were very kind to allow us to have their pictures and, information, which is, I don't know if you saw it. So, hopefully, we'll have visitors. One request that I wanted to do, because, it was not voted, as a file that we needed to vote on it, is to see if we could, this April 22nd is Earth Day and falls on a Saturday. If we could have, we need to ask the committee permission to have at least open and have a couple of members here just in case people want to come. And because I know we're having the bike ride celebrating Earth Day, and yet, we have an exhibit here for Earth Day and it's going to be closed to the public.
But that's because you guys as a committee, I believe, voted on $0
voted
spent for
to-
this event.
I know, $0 and no openings on the gallery. That's what I understand. No.
I mean, yeah, you guys can revisit it, but that's up to you guys.
Is something that I think you'll, maybe not this time, but for next year, if we could have like an opening. Because I know there's other, people from the town who are doing, I think it's the elderly art class, who are gonna have an opening. And yet we was doing this Earth Day event are not having one. So, I'd like to make a motion to see if it goes or not. If we could have at least a couple of members, if they can make it that day, I'm willing to be here
For this year, Felicia?
for April 22nd. If not, we'll leave it for next,
So there's a motion on the table
because it falls on a Saturday, so town hall is gonna be closed.
to have volunteers to be in town hall and have the exhibit open for Earth Day on April 22nd.
22nd, from, let's say from 11 to 3. 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. Because I know they're having the bike ride at what time?
The bike ride isn't here,
No, I know, but, you know,
so let me check for you. That's in the morning.
Yeah, it's usually early in the morning before it gets hot.
Yeah, that's an 8 AM bike ride.
and they're done by what time?
By 9?
I was gonna go in and attract them if the bike ride is somewhere else.
No,
If it
I'm
was
not.
here,
But I know we have
I'm not having a bike ride. What I'm saying is, there's an event for Earth Day by another committee.
There's more than one.
Guys, is there a second for this motion? I don't know if you guys skipped that part.
I think they're trying to figure out what the motion is. So.
Repeat the motion.
The
'cause we're
motion-
confused.
The motion is to request to have town hall open on the 22nd and have a couple of volunteers, from the cultural affairs in case, you know, we have people who wants to come and see the exhibit. Because I know some people have asked, are we gonna be open on the 22nd? I said, well, if I don't know, but
It's just the motion. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Okay,
so.
so any
From 11
second
to 3.
on
And
April
April
22nd,
22nd.
which is Saturday.
Correct. Any second.
So maybe second the motion. If there's no second, the motion died.
Okay, so now, maybe for next year.
Felicia, I'm only gonna say this because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. On the 22nd, I have a special needs resource center at Mary Collins, so I couldn't make it that
okay,
either.
no.
Yeah, and then I also have Plant a Tree with YMCA on the same day. So for me personally, it's not that I don't want to do this, it's just there's no way I was gonna be able to be here. So
No,
I will.
need to read about it.
No, but that I wouldn't have seconded or whatever, it's not a negative. It's just me personally, I wasn't gonna be able to make it, so I'm not gonna second something that I personally can't make it.
Right.
I just wanna let you know.
Next item, paint a picture for mom.
You, Felicia.
Well, this helps us, I don't know. Some of the stuff.
Do we want to table it then?
You've been getting,
But-
information from her.
But I
Here's what
think there's a
the update
subcommittee.
I can give you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to speak to Elsa.
You can speak to also, you guys are just not supposed to discuss anything that's gonna come up to discussion in front of.
For both.
Public
It has to
meeting.
be voted.
So I just want you guys to be aware that. And please take this going forward to any of your events, like the quotes we should have these quotes well in advance of what you're gonna be spending for any event. And the proper way to do that is to bring those quotes in front of the entire board, so you guys know what you're spending. It shouldn't be done that, sorry, using you as an example, Esther's gonna go out and get the food after we've discussed, yeah, we're gonna do food, and then she goes and spends however many dollars. Like, that's not really correct. We should really be bringing those quotes to the entire board, to the entire committee, so we know what we're agreeing. So please get into the habit of having quotes well in advance of your event so that it doesn't cause a delay. So with that said, I've been working with Elsa came and she did an inventory of what we have left over for paint a picture for mom. We're not gonna buy any brushes this year because we have plenty. And then she did send me a list of a couple of things that she wants us to purchase, which is some more cups and plates for the kids to mix their paint. So we'll be buying that through Amazon. And then I also have copies. So she requested a quote from Painting with a Twist, just as an FYI, Painting with a Twist owners have not changed. He
Increase the price.
No, I actually think it's cheaper.
Okay.
The price last year, I think, was close to 900 to 1,000. This year it's 700. So 700. However, I went ahead and I got a quote from an art store that you guys have used online before for the same thing. So it's 100 canvas, 1 gallon of blue, green, red, half a gallon of yellow, and half a gallon of black. It's $293.
What's the
So
name
this
of
is
the
just for
online?
you guys to decide.
The online store with the name?
Blick, BLICK.
We've used them before.
Yeah, you guys have used them before, from what I've seen. big difference. So,
You know, we
This
use
one,
them.
do as you like with this vote, but this is just informational, but really this is what we should be getting into the habit of doing, comparing quotes and really shopping around so that you guys can maximize your dollars.
gotta go
That's
back
just a
to, like-
suggestion.
So do we have to vote on this now?
Well, I would like for you guys to take a vote on which quote you want to move forward, with,
Okay.
so that we're all clear.
I
as
make
to-
a motion.
Okay, wait, I have a question. Didn't Elsa set up a subcommittee meeting for the 20th? Go over specifically that?
She did set up a subcommittee. Hold on, before we
Ah.
get there. She has not, she wants to request a subcommittee. She's not here today, so she asked me to make sure that you guys please consider
Oh,
doing
okay,
the
I thought it was
subcommittee.
just-
I have it on hold for you guys, but I need a proper vote for that one.
And
And two, remember that as a subcommittee, you can then take a final vote on something such as your price.
That's why I'm making a
And then we
motion that we
meet
use like
the
we used
Wednesday
before.
before
We
the
need to-
event, so I said, isn't that cutting it close?
Yeah, but we need two votes, first on this and then the second one on the subcommittee.
So I already made, I have a motion on the table to approve Blick, who's a vendor we used before, to cut off cost for a third.
I second that.
Now we got discussion, right?
Yes, any discussion?
Okay, so we're not using the name Painting with a Twist,
That's a
or it's
separate
just
company.
our event?
It's just your, and it's always been.
Picture for mom.
Oh, paint a picture, okay, got it. Okay, got it, now I got it, see, thank you.
And I'll send this copy of the quote for you guys.
Any more discussion? Any more discussion?
So are we gonna have? Clarify this for me, are we gonna have then Blake doing? Because I thought. Last year we had. Paint a picture, I mean, painted with a twist. We paid them for some material, but then they.
We had
gave us
leftovers.
some. So they're not gonna be participating then?
Say that again?
Just for the paint, we're just talking about the paint
Just
right
to
now.
buy-
This is
supplies.
paint, no, let me go
Wow,
back to that.
paint and everything.
This is for paint and canvas, which is what Elsa requested the same,
Painting canvas.
the
From,
same from Painting with a Twist. She requested a quote and I got an additional quote for you guys from a different.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a big difference.
But we always used to use them. That's
Any
how we
other
always did it
discussion?
before.
Okay, let me ask you, are they gonna use the same supplies that we buy, or is that two separate things? We just gonna,
what are
like, we
the,
used to use Bliss before painting with a twist came on.
Do our own
We used to buy our own supplies,
So
On
what is the
paper, on
concern
it.
that you're
so my
scared?
question is,
Yeah.
are we gonna? If we go with, painting with a twist, they want 700, they're gonna do everything.
Right. that's-
But they're not really, they're just
What-
giving you the items, is what you mean by everything, is they're giving
That's
you the
what,
items.
they're gonna give us all the items,
They're gonna give you paint.
okay.
She requested paint and canvas, because the idea is to supplement with whatever you guys have left over of it.
$700.
No, what you have of inventory, you guys
Okay.
have, leftover, a few leftover canvas, and you have
Okay.
some paint, and you have a lot of brushes left,
Okay,
and you have cups
okay,
and stuff. So what we're really, what Elsa she did inventory, and she came up with what she thought we needed
right,
to come up, to finalize the event in terms of supplies. So she came up with a gallon of blue, a gallon of green, a gallon of red, half a gallon of yellow, half a gallon of black, and 100 canvases.
okay, so if we get that from Blitz, that's $250.
we have white.
293.
So why do we need, paint with the twist?
We don't.
No,
Exactly.
that's what she was going with originally, so I just got you another quote, so you
Yeah.
get.
Because for years, we've done that with some, and we get some volunteers.
She didn't put white paint as a
We need
request.
white paint.
Okay, if
Do
you
we have
guys,
white paint?
I'm not sure, Elsa's the one that took inventory.
But
We need
right
white
now,
paint.
but right
Otherwise,
now,
how are you gonna-
But if she did the inventory, I'm sure she would know, right?
She knows that she has that, otherwise she would have put it on the order. I'm
Let me
sure.
see if she has. let me see.
and this
Check
is mainly
inventory?
just deciding who to use.
Right, as to the
And we already
supply.
said, like,
But
and
if
we
we don't
use
go
them
with
before.
Twist, we're not losing like an instructor or.
No.
Any other discussion?
And we're only using
on.
the company, we're not detailing budget, because we already have a budget, right?
Yes, it's just to buy.
just buying the supplies.
You're saving yourself money, that's all you're doing.
Like we've
Saving
always done.
$407.
And we used to do like this all the time.
So the motion should include no more than $400.
No, we
To
already have the budget.
So
So hold on, let me go-
Felicia's concern is that there's no white included in it.
That's
The
something that can
inventory
be
show.
addressed at the subcommittee meeting.
But if that's the case, it's gonna be an expense. So
Can
that's
I
why
see-
she wants to
Can I
address
see
it.
that, can I see that quote, please? Because this is unbelievable.
It's apples to apples.
No, no,
except
I
it's
know
missing white.
exactly what it is.
So the motions could include an amount?
This is very easy. So I make a motion to approve $293.52 plus $33.76 for a half a gallon of white. To be safe.
Can I amend that one?
No, wait a second. Esther, motion to Blake to.
Guys, I'm gonna share the quote here for you, so I'll see it.
Here you go.
This is the same quote.
We don't know how much white feed is, so.
That's the same as that.
They're all.
This,
they're
two half gallons. 2 gallons, 2 half gallons, 2 half gallons.
Mostly the.
It's $19
One
for a
half
half
gallon.
gallon.
Black is 16, white.
So
might be
just
16.
put a blanket 350. Just put a blanket
There
350.
you go. Not to exceed $350.
There you go. Okay, so the motion by Esther is motion to approve Blake, to use Blake, not more than $350, right, to buy.
The art supplies that we need for paint the picture for mom.
Okay, and the budget again was?
$350.
I
The
second
whole
it.
thing?
This is for
For
just
the
the
paint
paint.
and yeah,
And the canvases, in the event, we need to add white.
or anything else that comes up on the subcommittee meets.
Got it, and the motion has been seconded by Susan.
So are we gonna determine the maximum budget? I think our budget is $500.
You just said total 350
$350.
spending on this.
So that's it, we're saying
It'll
$350.
give us $150.
Yeah, we're doing good, let's go on a roll.
Now, I'm just gonna bring up things that had also asked me to share with you guys to discuss, please. I mean, this is up to you guys if you guys want to discuss. But she mentioned that she didn't really want to provide snacks this year. I believe last year you guys
Oh, we
provided
did.
snacks.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're still on this motion. Though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Come on.
All
right.
second.
Yeah, all right, so the motion on table to approve Blake for not to exceed any 350, and that includes all the supplies we've mentioned, including if we're missing white. So the second by Suzanne, discussion, any more discussion? We're ready to vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Now you're up again.
There you go. I don't know, you can vote.
Sorry, Felicia reminded me that we needed to confirm farmer's market, so that's already confirmed for you guys. They are agreeing to give you the tents. And they will take care of trash around the area. And we already have the whole harness from the grant. So the only other thing I was mentioning is that Elsa wanted, based on her inventory, she mentioned to me that she does not think that we should do snacks, because that would, I guess, be an additional cost, but that's really up to you guys.
I think because we're over there where we are and they have everything. I think we used to do the snacks when we were at Mary Collins because we were isolated.
There was nothing there.
So
Good point.
I agree there. You know, because if we're giving snacks,
Yeah, we're gonna.
and some of the vendors
Right,
may
yeah.
get a little offended if I can get a free soda over
That's
here and you're selling it for $1 down there. Why
That makes
should I
sense.
come to you when I can go over to paint a picture for mom and get a free?
She did suggest mini water bottles and mini juice, and no
Mhm.
snacks. That was
Okay.
her suggestion.
We have leftover
How about
water.
coffee? Always have coffee.
They sell coffee
Oh.
over there.
We didn't have coffee last year.
Oh, yes.
No, we
I
didn't.
need coffee.
Felicia,
We had
have-
that
have
also
coffee
too
out
at
there.
Mary
The
Collins, not last.
No, last year we did not. It was outside of the farmer's market. It was hot and.
I remember, because Neil brings it all the time.
Well,
That's all we need.
But that's just somebody bring.
That was just somebody.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I
and
can
he
check
didn't
for
stay
you.
long.
Check.
Let me check for you.
So.
But I guess.
Because I had extra cups that I took home. So we didn't have coffee there.
I just really want to know what you guys are.
We have water.
I want you guys to set yourself
Yeah,
for a
it's at
budget, so
48.
you all agree on like what.
We just-
How much is little thing of coffee?
$20 and it's for 10 people.
But then we're gonna run into the same issue that Charles said, because the farmer's market has coffee.
Yeah, that's.
I'd like to make a motion not to have anything, drinks or food, because
Not even
we're
water?
using we're
No.
using the farmer's market space and they're vendors and they sell all of that.
Yeah, that's
They
like
sell
stepping on
water,
their
they
toes.
sell
Right.
everything and
Just
Why should we have-
Just have the paint,
they're doing an activity.
you just do a paint the
They can
picture for
bring-
mom event and that's it.
I-
think.
Anybody second that motion?
I second the motion.
Esther seconds the motion.
Yeah, because. this
And the
is-
motion is not to provide any drinks or food, for paint a picture from all.
They're giving us that space for free.
Discussion?
Discussion, I don't agree, I think we should have at least water, because there are kids there, and the mother has to go and buy a bottle of water. When we can provide it for free, if we have extra water there, worst case scenario, buy a case of water and bring it. Because I think we should have at least water for the little kids out there.
Felicia, do you want to amend the motion? So no food and drinks except for water that we might have left
Small
over?
bottles of water.
Well, right now,
What
we have
happened to my
over
motion?
48 little bottles.
It's your motion with her amendment to the water.
Okay,
Right now, we
so-
have 48 little bottles from leftover from women's distinction, just tell me.
Okay, we can use that.
So we,
48.
would you like to make, amend the motion?
Amend
Felicia?
the motion to have the 48 little bottles of water from the women of distinction to.
Guys, what I'm really concerned about is the dollars, like, that's what I really.
But there's leftover.
Yeah, you guys can use leftover, you don't have to make a motion for that, like, I'll make sure that it's there for you.
So can we,
It's really, like, I need you guys to agree on what you're spending in terms, like, what
So
you're
we
spending,
don't see 50.
but that's it?
No, oh, wait, it's not a motion.
Yeah, you have.
All right,
That's
so
for
the,
this.
the motion is made by Suzanne, right? The motion to not provide any drinks or food for the mother, paint a picture of the mom. Esther seconded the motion, and Felicia's trying to amend it to at least provide the leftover 48 bottles of water that we have from our event. Any second on the amendment?
Second.
Okay, Esther seconds the amendment, so now
We're
we're gonna vote on
$50.
amending the motion. All in favor of amending the motion?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, amendment passes unanimously, so now the amended motion on the table is motion not to provide any drinks or food on the paint for picture for mom. With the exception of we're gonna provide the 48 water bottles that we had left over from our other events. Any discussion? We're ready to vote.
We amended it.
We're ready
The
to
water.
vote. We just amended it right now. All right, any discussion? We're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Oh,
It's kind of hard though to keep track of this.
That event, remember the one I put out, isn't one of those items water? Oh, that's.
okay, that.
Then my next question, oh, finish what you were saying before you forget.
Subcommittee. is
Oh, we
gonna-
need a motion to approve the supplement.
Yes. we need
That's-
to- Yeah,
But she was gonna say something before you were gonna say something before.
Well, I looked up your expenses from last year and, you spent $937 on paint a picture, for the paint sets from Painting with a Twist. And you spent $254 on Publix juices, waters and snacks. And we bought disposable coffee cups. There's no coffee charge on here, so that tells me that Neil probably donated.
First, me, I don't remember him bringing coffee. He showed up, he was there, and then he left. But the cups were for the paint.
I think the cups might have been for the.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, continuing on this item, and I need to wrap this up real quick. For the second picture from Mama, I'm requesting a subcommittee meeting to go over the list that we need to provide. I'll
Okay, so
Second.
Felicia's
make a
motion,
motion to request a subcommittee for the second picture from Mama. April 20th, right? So we have open.
I have April 20th from 5 to 6 on hold for you.
yeah, okay, anybody second the motion?
I'll second
Okay, Madam. Discussion?
it. Discussion, is that, no, April,
April.
Thursday. Sorry.
April, you said the event forms not filled out?
No.
Is April 20th, 2 weeks before the event? Didn't you tell me you needed the event thing to be filled out before 2 weeks
Yeah,
before?
ideally, you guys would really be submitting it now, but.
That's surprised either Elsa or Felicia can do it. They've done it
Elsa's
before.
the chair.
The most important thing is what we voted on already.
So April 20th at what?
Yeah,
At
It's
5
2 weeks.
PM.
Okay,
That's
so
2 weeks. Is that what you want, 2 weeks?
any more discussion? Are we ready to vote? All in favor?
I,
Any nays? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
April 20th.
Okay, let's move on to the next item, Pride Month. Charles?
The Pride event is dead on arrival. After 4 years of trying to get this done with the town, I think we should later. On the vote last night, it was unanimous that they did not want to have it at the time. However, during the same time, I think they spent more time about the Juneteenth celebration that we're not gonna have as opposed to the Pride Month. In my research, for getting ready to present this, there are 3 events for African Americans. And the population, according to the census, is 1.4. The population for Pride is 1.7. So I think it's pretty obvious that we cannot have it here. So our other alternative would be to talk to the town. Not the town, but the theater, and see if they would be interested in hosting it. I don't ever see it being held here, because every year it's next year. Every year it's next year. I don't think we're gonna have it.
I respectfully disagree. I don't think it should be done away with, because I do think, even though I came in after the fact,
Mhm.
that you have made progress. And I did review the video yesterday as to why they were not comfortable, I guess, with having the Pride event. But I also went back and reviewed, because there is a meeting on record in the town where Neil presented in front of the committee and council, 3 events were approved as. One of them was Pride. It was Earth Day, Pride, and something about Mother's Day.
Mhm.
So it has been approved before. I believe what we're running into is that we're trying to do it with other groups, that the town is not feeling comfortable in what material or what videos are gonna be presented. And they also are not finding, when we're presenting things to them, the cultural value to it. But I think if we amend the cultural value, we just put everything on the town, this is our event, right? And we do have a link between Pride and the cultural significance, because homosexuality was illegal in this country, just like slavery was. And what brought it about was art and music and a lot of other cultural events that dealt with that. So I don't think we should just, give up because we keep receiving no. I think if we put it on us, to do it, we should continue to try, because Pride was approved April 13, 2021. It was one of the events on the list that was approved. Concern for it, the budget, because when Neil presented it, they said we have additional funds from the CAC because of COVID and events that have not happened. So we're gonna run into the issue for the funding, but I think at least we're one step in the boat, if you might say, because Pride was approved. The issue
Okay.
is,
We've always had the funding for the event.
Last night, there was no funding from the town. The town was not gonna. spend
right,
money
and that,
on-
and the reason for it was Councilmember Fernandez was not comfortable, right? He preferred somebody else to do it. Councilmember Ronald stated she did not feel, well, for whatever reason, the brochures were not presented because the
She
LGBTQ
backed up
were the ones that are
Garcia.
we're gonna be presenting it, right? And we had the other council member that was asking questions
Renee.
about, Renee, no,
Ray.
Ray Garcia was asking questions about what the play was about or what the reading was about. And that's what I'm trying to say, like, let's do away with the theater, with LGBTQ, with giving out any brochures. Do what we're meant to do, which is the Cultural Affairs Committee, our events, and this is what we're gonna continue to present, because we're gonna keep getting no's if we're trying to include other aspects of it. I think if we simplify it, like we have done for Earth Day, it's the same thing.
What did we do for Earth Day?
Earth Day, we have pictures on the
And
wall,
you consider that Earth Day? Those little pictures that you have hanging there?
but nobody came and told us we can't do Earth Day because there's no cultural significance to it because of the pictures, what they have with that. I think we're trying to get up here. We're already here. If we continue, at least moving forward, we should do it.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we get LGBT
Well, that's
plus
the chair
people
right
to.
there.
No,
do
I'm
art?
suggesting just doing it our thing, the same way we did Earth Day, if we want it for next year, or I don't know if we can even do it this year because of the budgeting. Yeah, I'm not done yet. Right, and then they continue to say it has no cultural significance. It absolutely does. And there's articles, if you want, I can send you an email, because after I saw the meeting, I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't have any cultural? It does. Homosexuality was illegal in this country. And that's a fact. That's not whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah.
And I think we're already one step in, because Pride was already approved. as an additional, yes, it was Felicia, you did not all you want, but look at the video, it's here, April 13th, 2021. It was part of the 3 additional ones that we were gonna have,
Yes, they did.
and then it got shut down
That's why
again.
they said we could have it the next year.
It got shut down again because you tried to move 1,500 or something to have another event. And then Councilmember Dieguez at that meeting stated, it's not tied into anything cultural. It looks like a cocktail party basically. And then we had the town attorney, right, and we had the town attorney explain, you know, this is what the cultural fair is supposed to be tying it into, but it wasn't because it was very simplified and it did look like a cocktail party.
Like just a celebration.
Like a
right, of
celebration.
Music and.
Right, so I don't think that the council people are saying, no, we don't want it, because they already said we do want it, but we need to do the work, you know, and we might not get it. We might not get it the first time or the second time, but I don't agree with just giving up, because just the year that I've been here, we spent more than 4 hours on Pride. You know, I think if we just add what we're doing, simplify it and bring it again, I think we have a shot. Revamp it, and not bring in LGBTQ, not give out any educational material, nothing. This is what we're doing. We're gonna talk about Pride, how it affected us, right? How it's cultural and it ties into the
history
arts,
of
the
it.
history, the music, the painters, everybody who made that movement forward.
Contributions through the years of people.
Yes,
Similar to Juneteenth
Like
celebration.
Ronaldo, right, like
Right.
Ronaldo Arena's celebration of his,
That was disgusting.
well, just
Well,
to
but
say,
that's
but that
what I'm
was
saying,
an
you know.
individual.
this is what we're running into. Maybe that's why, you know, they didn't feel comfortable.
But the town was the one that showed the movie.
Yeah, it was the mayor said.
But it was mayor's office. It was not the town
Disgusting.
itself. You know, so I think if
that movie than ending it with
Let's not get off the
Let's-
track.
yeah,
I like
So,
what
so
you're
that,
saying.
that's something I don't think, because I disagree with them not wanting to do it, because they did want to do it and it's been approved. But we continue to have all these hurdles because of all this additional things that we're adding to it, and we want to make it such, you know, with other collaboration, which we might not have control of what material or this is their cultural. Yes, just stick to it. This is Cultural Affairs
Is there-
Committee, and this is how it relates to Pride.
Is there any way we can revamp it and present it again?
I don't think this year we're able
Yeah,
to.
I
think
vote, like,
The
we
answer-
rewatched,
yeah, let's
we
hear an
rewatched
answer.
it and the vote is no.
The
on
vote
that.
this year is
The
definitely
vote,
no.
the motion and the vote taken was the town council did not want it to be a part of cultural affairs or the town.
The way
It
that's
was
the-
that they
So
wanted,
they- because of the event, because of the agenda.
yeah, that was all
They
part of
just don't want
discussion,
to
but the
collaborate.
motion was, the motion that was voted on was that they do not want cultural
They
affairs to
don't
take
want
it on. Pretty much.
So don't try again for this year.
No.
That's your recommendation.
I don't think it makes any sense for this because the motion was the vote was taken.
Right.
But can we get on the agenda?
You guys are on the agenda next month, but it's for your report to council. It's not for requesting an event. Because you guys you're gonna go up for the same thing.
Yeah, well, listen, we're not doing Juneteenth, we're not doing Pride this year. I think we shouldn't abandon it altogether. And it should come up next year again. Just simplify.
We're still doing the event at the theater.
Absolutely.
Right, they said we can do
That
that.
has nothing to do with the-
It's just not supported by cultural affairs.
So, can we make them,
There's no motion. I think Alicia wants to say something.
Okay. I disagree with you saying that it was approved. Those 3 items last year were not approved, and the reason they did not.
That's not
approve-
true, Felicia. It's on the video.
2021.
Again, it was, they assumed it had nothing.
But the event itself was
It
approved.
was approved by the committee, but it was not.
It was approved by
council.
council.
The council.
2021,
They just didn't
not
put it
talking
in.
about last year, twenty
April
twenty-one.
13, 2021,
They
it was approved by the
approved
council.
They
Approved.
approved 3
And
events.
so you'll let you have the event the next. year.
Right, and Mayor said what was said about something that they weren't giving equal treatment to somebody who appeared at a meeting before.
Yeah.
I said that we're gonna approve the events, we're gonna approve all 3 of them, and they approved Earth Day, Pride, and another one that had to do with
Juneteenth.
Mother's Day.
No,
No, Juneteenth was not at that one. Juneteenth was at that one.
I'll go back to that
Yeah.
event.
So it was approved, that's what I'm saying, they're not against Pride, they're just not okay with what's being presented in front of them.
Okay, so is someone gonna make a motion to reconsider it instead of?
I just think we should reconsider it, I mean, I don't, and you spent 4 years, you said Charles.
Oh, we don't even have to make a motion.
There's no
Right,
motion, it's
it's just discussion.
It's just a discussion.
How do you feel, Charles?
Defeated.
I don't want to ride that training. I'd
Jeanette
rather
will
go
write,
somewhere else.
We'll see, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I'm just, we're talking about it, I don't think we should go through the route together.
That's what they're trying to get at.
But we're looking at the minutes.
No, she's right. Trinette's saying is right.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
We were front and center.
right, that's why they said, you can have it. That's why they say you can have it in 2020.
No, that's gonna take some time.
We were there.
You don't have to come up with that.
We were
You
there.
already know.
But to say that the town altogether shut it down, I don't think it's fair either, because it did get approved. It got approved on.
Yeah,
on the
I
13th.
don't wanna throw it out either. I wanted to definitely support the theater. If they can do it with us, that'd be fantastic. I'm still willing to sponsor, I said the wine for the event, and I know you said you were gonna sponsor something. And the grants, and we're gonna reach out to Memorial.
Yes,
and
that's what
see
we
if
wanted to
they-
know.
Can we still go to Memorial?
Who reached out to
out-
Memorial?
You guys can, but I, as liaison staff,
So we
yeah,
can,
yeah,
but
as
do we
town.
have the contact?
Yes, you've got the contact, right?
You guys have the
Myself,
contact
I-
because it's public record.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
We have the contact.
I
so
just
we're gonna
can't
call
act on
them.
behalf.
So we're gonna be contacting them.
Okay,
So we still wanna definitely, and anyone,
Next year, we'll go after it.
so it's June 24th, hopefully, and we'll have it at the theater, but next year, definitely.
And
can
you know
get-
what, maybe we need to have the.
Things don't happen
the pamphlets and
overnight.
Everything all prepared ahead of time.
Maybe the
Sample.
fourth, we already been 4 years into this, maybe the fifth time around, it'll be the charm.
Well, I'm just saying, I think you have hope, because I don't think the town has come out and said, we don't want pride, because they did say it was fine.
So they.
There it is.
Do it individually. They're not against having,
No,
an event.
Felicia, it was approved as another event for CAC.
So I'm sorry.
Wait,
This is, if they presented two new events that were approved, scheduled to take place. during the month.
Go down, it's at
and
the
the Pride
bottom.
Month, it says. and
It's at the
Pride-
bottom. The
There it
correction
is.
was,
Proceeded to read from the minutes included in the.
The three new events are
Earth Day,
Earth
Pride-
Day, Pride Month, and honoring mothers in May.
right, so it's been added.
Yes, it has.
It's just an issue
We
with,
remember, I
I
remember
was
it.
sitting right
We
here.
were all here.
I wasn't here, so I wanted to
Yeah,
know,
it was
what's the
approved.
history, why
It was
we keep
approved.
insisting on
But
it?
they have short memory about it. I think they have short memory, if they know it was approved.
Then it says Chairman
Well,
Morrison
that
then
was
stated
good.
that the third event was a minute, and it was an oversight that he would like to include 3 events to be presented to the town council for their approval. Chairman Morrison, pleasure, may that one.
Thank you
The
for bringing that up.
correction was reflected. Motion as amended passed unanimously. Council member Diegues was absent. So there it is. The motion passed unanimously.
Great. And then there's another meeting after that where there was discussion about pride, because it even came out in the Miami Baker that you were gonna do a cocktail or something. And then that's when they shut down the idea, because it was not tied to anything culturally. It just looked like a cocktail
Yes,
party.
And that got a lot of
Right.
blowback.
We still had an event.
We still have the event.
It's
That's the
not
first year we
against
did the
them,
farmer's
it's
market,
just that,
right?
The cultural element.
Okay,
in it,
so
and
this
you-
is just a
this-
discussion,
this
right?
one-
My hand was up because I'd like to.
May I say something, please?
Oh, I had my
What-
hand
what-
up too.
Yeah, but I've been.
Come on, ladies,
saying-
put the
Come on, it's 8:15.
What I'm saying is, and I don't wanna, like I said, I wanted to limit the time on each item because then we're here forever.
But then you get to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Felicia, just
Felicia.
finish your thought.
What I'm saying is, when you presented, like you said before, the brochures, the panel discussion is, what is culture about? Are we gonna talk about artists that have been involved in, because I could find a list of bunch of artists through the history of art that have been, you did not present that.
Okay, that's what,
But that's why none of us did. We were in that subcommittee, and it was our mistake. It didn't happen. How are we to know what is it that's gonna be, brought to our attention that we're not in agreement to?
That's
But
what,
we still have the door open because the event was approved at one point in time.
so we'll
So it's
do a
not like,
better job next year.
right, because it's not like we're gonna say Miami-Dade is again having pride, because that's not the case. If you go back, it was approved. So if they come back and say, no, we don't want pride at all, that's a different story, but we do have to understand their position too. We can't tie it to things that we don't know what's gonna be presented in their brochure and blah, blah,
that's
blah.
what I'm saying. That's why they do not approve this.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's 8:16.
After-
Okay, let's move on.
I just want to say that I didn't appreciate, when we were doing the presentation, that Felicia made a point to state that there were 7 people who voted and 2 members did not vote.
Okay,
Record.
noted.
That's not a
But
record.
it wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary.
I think it was. Okay.
Doesn't show a unified present, you know, and once we vote on
We're free
something,
to vote whichever way
but
want,
once we
and
vote
there
on
was any
something, we
aware
present a
of
unified
what
front.
is to-
Okay. so
And the
when
reason
you
I
vote,
voted
don't
against it
say-
is because, again, there was ambiguity in what was gonna be presented. Okay,
Okay, Charles, anything else you wanna add?
Yeah.
Thank
That
you,
was it.
Charles, thank you all of you.
Thank you,
for
Charles.
attending.
Thank you so
That we're
much.
able to
Thank you
answer
for
your
doing the research.
okay. Next item, the database, we already discussed that, so let's move on to the next one.
What are we,
business.
did we discuss, what are we talking about? The CAC database for artists.
We already discussed that. The database is done. Thank you.
Well,
She took space when she was
It's
talking
in-
about the administrative.
Oh,
And this is liaison, so I think
so what I
anything
put
you have
on
to
this,
say that.
You
we did
can,
it.
I mean, my announcement is that I shared a link with all of you guys. Feel free to share so we can have it in one place, like all the artists in one place, and you know, you guys have a database to work off of when you want to do your events.
okay, thank you.
Okay, new item, attendance issue.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to. Does council have to, or we just, I don't,
With the attendance, like if you're talking about removing
I'm gonna put the-
somebody,
yeah.
you guys have to, as a committee, bring it, like, one agree
Present
that you
to
want
council,
them.
right.
No, you
No?
just agree that you want it removed, and then the chair would be responsible for.
Okay, so I don't have to say
Reaching
it in
out
the
to
note.
the
Okay.
appointing council member and let them know what. the
So I don't have to
committee's
say that in the motion, okay, got it. I'd like to make a motion to, due to attendance or lack of attendance to our meetings and our events, that we remove. Carla Acosta and Ruth.
She's not on the roster. She's not even there.
Okay.
She's supposed to be there, right? I'll.
Yeah, she's currently up.
What's Ruth's last name?
What's Ruth's last name?
Quiro.
Ruth Quiero. Quiero, okay.
I second the motion.
And discussion. I agree too, and I think the issue for it, it's nothing against Carla or Ruth, it's just that when it comes to quorum, it's very hard to get quorums.
Look at tonight.
Because they're not.
Perfect
here.
example. I came into this problem when I had to do that special call meeting and I was begging and I felt so bad that Hermie was coming from a doctor's appointment from Brock. And I was like, please, 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 so we can have quorum. Again, tonight, same thing. Things happen, not all of us, and with having those two, we cut it short in quorum.
Quorum is honored.
Also, and in reference to one member, she only came to the meeting before she was on the committee. She hasn't been to any meeting since. She hasn't been to any other event since. That's taking place a person and including us for attendance forum that could be, we haven't have two openings still. That someone else that can be able to join it, be able to open up that spot. And also, worst case scenario, I don't know if this is
We
true.
reduce the quorum.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
will.
whole point.
But also worst case scenario, I know that Carla has a lot of issues right now, maybe, right,
Yeah,
she
we
can
have open spots.
reinstate it or reapply or whatever the procedure is. 'cause I don't know.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah, and then when she's able to, because she's not, no fault of hers, that she's not able to, she can just re-enlist.
Yeah, I think we have open spots too anyways.
Yeah, we still do.
We have. Yeah, four.
Any more discussion?
No.
No.
Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Any nays? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Okay, next item is the semi-annual report. This is what we need to present to the council. The only thing that we may have to adjust is the budget part, which, I may have to adjust it. And basically, what we have, what we're going to do, last night, the mayor was kind of upset that we didn't do the 20th event this year, so what I was thinking is maybe doing something.
He can do it himself.
But we still have.
Let
things on the table.
her speak.
I'm sorry.
and do something that may bring more people to the event or have some kind of documentary or something that, you know, for people to have something online. I don't know. We'll make this traffic later. We can, it's something we can discuss.
I'm sorry, I don't, what am I gonna put for second? I know, committee report.
So that's a copy that I provided you guys. We just need to be, obviously, because you're a committee, you are one body, you guys need to agree on this report that's gonna go.
Got it.
Is this gonna be at a regular council meeting?
Yeah.
We need to add
Do you know the date of the council meeting?
It's gonna be for me. And that meeting is
15th or 16th.
May 9th.
I got a question, because now we removed two of our members, so we're gonna take off Carla, or we're gonna add Ruth?
We're gonna take them both.
You're gonna have to,
Carla
the
and-
edit to that would be to remove.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, because right now they're both committee members. That's
Okay,
not a.
so we would need to add Ruth, because she's
Yeah.
not there.
Okay, we are.
You said May 5th was the meeting?
May 9th.
And it's a Tuesday?
It's gonna be tight, it's in a piece of paper and it's.
The only thing, it says future project and considerations, where it says Juneteenth celebration previously postponed. It's not previously, I mean, it's just, we're not,
The
we
date
we
was
agreed
June
not to
19th,
do it, so it should
2024.
come off.
What do you wanna take off?
It should come off completely, the Juneteenth celebration, because as a committee,
We're not gonna
voted
do it
not
this
to
year.
have it.
It
Not
should not,
next year either?
it should not be
But
on.
it shouldn't be on this one, right?
This
Because
is
this
Put it
is
on this one.
You guys will report to council way before
This
next June again.
Right,
Exactly.
so it doesn't need to be
So
there.
it doesn't need to
Okay,
be.
doesn't need to-
And what is cultural center?
I would remove that also.
No,
Can I ask, what is it?
This is a project, we did a white paper. Some of you.
Oh, that thing, that white paper.
Physical buildings.
So we need to move on that if we want our committee to be, you know, have a home, which is, if you read the white paper, it was hard work from
But-
some of us.
Funds for that.
Is that one of our, something that we already have?
No, we presented this to the council and they approved the concept.
Okay.
Okay? What we're saying here is future project is I know it's an expensive facility to build, but we need, I mean, I've been reading about, and I think there was something that Isle sent to us. Does that have to do with us that we have to review it? Something about potential, what's it called? Grants, stuff like that, that we can.
I'm not
But my
sure
question
where-
is, are we having
So,
this cultural
You
center
send me- you
project for
send-
this
you
year?
send me something about
when.
And they just hired another grant assistant, so I'm sure the town can try to figure out some.
Oh,
grant
she-
funding.
the one that was
Mhm.
presented on the Miami Laker
Was it on
page,
time?
that was very nice.
Felicia, my question as to this is that future considerations for 2023 or next year?
No, future consideration is future.
But then we have to add a whole bunch more to that.
Take it off.
Take it off.
Yeah, no future,
With 2023, right?
No, that's it.
we're in 23.
I know I got it this week.
Jazz, Hispanic,
Those ones.
symphony, and the state, Father's Day, and the beach.
We have something every month. Perfect.
We have two things, November 1, December 1. The only month we don't have something is January. We have two in February.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm
just
sorry, I was trying to understand the
Okay, here we
report.
go.
Okay.
Al Pastora.
May.
Please complete your organization survey for the Town of Miami Lakes and Cultural Affairs Committee for our Art and Economic Prosperity Study.
Yeah, so I can't tell you anything about that because that was sent to me, so I didn't create that,
So why did you send it to me then?
because I know you would be interested.
Oh, okay.
And it was sent
We
to
can, we
me.
can talk about it.
Yeah, so I don't have any information on that. That was sent to me.
Just as I'm looking at this calendar and Esther made the comment of how it is nice that we have something every month and at some months, two things. Maybe just for the future, the choral concert could be moved in January because we don't have anything in January. And that's Martin Luther King's birthday month.
And I think that
So
has
it's
to
still
do.
a very,
This is
and I'm just talking about.
Listen. This is for the
No,
semi-annual.
I said,
Should we say about the future?
just saying for the future, when we start looking at our
That's why.
activities. And so since it's so nicely presented here and you can look right down the row, October,
We can put it as a future
We
project
could-
consideration.
just a,
Right.
I'm making a comment, but you could always make it a consideration since we don't have anything in January that maybe we move to January, so we have something in January.
We
And
have to
it's,
take into consideration the schedule, because they might have,
The only problem is the schools don't
Yeah.
come back till about January 15th.
that's probably one.
after their holiday break.
They usually have like a month off.
Oh, that's cool. I'm like.
Oh, yeah.
We're not telling you.
Well, the
Okay.
one concert we have it in February 18th was the Black History Month.
So this is just a report telling them what we're planning to do,
Mhm.
not necessarily,
These are all the activities we've had
and then what
since
we're,
October, because that's when we.
And then
open
what's
up the new
future.
Fiscal year,
And then
and
this is
then
what's
what we're
coming for
gonna
the
wrap
rest
up
of
the rest of
Our
the year.
next report is gonna be.
okay, all right.
Which is the first
So
month of
there-
the new fiscal
All right.
year.
So there's
This-
items there like the 4th of July and other events that are not included because we can.
Well, I make a motion that we accept this report to council with
With
the
amended.
addition of Ruth as a member, because she was left off the roster. And she still is a member at this point, and the scratch off of the 2 future project considerations.
I second that motion. Discussion?
Yes, I still don't understand, and this is being approved April, and this is being presented in May, where are we keeping 2 members, we just voted.
Because
Because
it's not up to
official
you
until
guys,
the
it's up
council.
to the elected.
They have
They have to make the final.
Okay, and when's that gonna be?
So if you guys want, I will, if it gets done before you guys go, I'll make sure that it's removed off your thing.
And,
Thank you.
and when, I was just wondering, could we put if we were gonna put anything for future project considerations,
It's for this.
could we put pride?
That's what I'm thinking.
This is for this.
This is for this year, right? Because we're not gonna.
It says future, and she had put down 2024. So is there any reason why we can't put pride 2024?
Well, that's what my question was. When we're referring to future, are we talking about future or future
That's
2023?
why I'm.
Because if it's 2023, then we remove all of it. If it's future everything, then we have to add plus Juneteenth plus everything else.
The next few months.
Guys, I'm just reminding you that it's 8:30, you still have a couple of.
Okay,
agenda
come on,
items.
let's just keep.
Leave it as is.
Yeah. All right, any more discussion? The motion on the table is to approve it with the amendments that we talked about, with the members and removing the future event.
Yes,
Okay.
Are we ready to vote?
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
James, you're on before you go.
Okay. Real quick.
Well, I just say, we've heard of Michael Mudd. He's pretty safe.
Mhm.
So I think we want to stay with people that are safe. And if we can contact him. Are you
And he-
familiar with
Even
him?
the people for the July last?
Yeah,
They-
No. no, he didn't perform. It was about 3 years ago.
But he's done it before, because we
Yeah.
counted him on, and remember we called him from right here?
Right,
And
about
he
3
is
years ago. His
Super
name is Michael Mudd, M-U-T-T. And he plays a variety
Send him the
of.
link to,
yeah.
to, be added to the database, so you know.
And
He plays a
it's
variety
either-
of music.
It's either singer and.
No, he has a band with about 5 or 6 members.
And he is
Liz,
super
I
affordable.
want
Let
you
me see if
to,
I have
work
his
on
number.
that.
If you guys,
There's a possibility on the 4th, I may not. But we can work up into that.
And
And I want you to hear him. There's a good variety of music.
He's
Plays a little
everywhere.
bit of everything.
I would suggest, because it's April, so this isn't that early to be planning 4th of July. I
No,
would
we
suggest
have-
you guys bring other quotes
Okay,
Okay,
and
Who
just check
guys
if
send you
anybody else by the time we meet again.
so
okay.
I'm
Just in
gonna
case.
text them right now.
Just in case that doesn't work, you have backups to, move on.
I'm already sending him the
You
text.
also, mentioned, lady that was interested in singing the national anthem.
Oh, yeah, the one who emailed us,
Yeah, that was for women of the same,
No, you send us a lady
for
that
anybody.
said she sang the national, then she said
Yeah,
she's
so
singing
that's-
everything else.
Did you
It's
guys?
probably
want
gonna be on
to
the
look at it?
database now.
Again, years ago, we had a couple of people that came and auditioned, so we picked which one we wanted. So do we want to do that again? People are into it. I mean, you have one, we have one.
We still need quotes first.
I think we should get a free one, that's good.
You guys should bring quotes is the best thing you.
Well, he'll send you a quote and he was like,
And make
like
sure that they're
Dropbox.
available.
well, that's why I said
That they're available, that they're good, and that we're.
And if you know of somebody, we need to get with them now because that's a holiday that they get eaten up. Even the
husband's
guys.
Yeah.
even the people
That's
that-
all we want, everything.
If you know of somebody, contact them.
Also, that young lady from the corral
For the museum.
that. I don't
Never
know,
see that summer, so she probably never.
we get my own.
the private members. Okay,
You can do it on
The thing about him, he has a band and he has singers.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you get individual
Yeah, we can
singers,
table-
you
we
gotta
can
hook them up
we
with.
could table it, and then also, you wanna plan a subcommittee?
For the 4th of July, you wanna make a motion on?
No, I'm asking.
Or,
There's a town.
Yeah.
No, we need to start early.
there's a
Guys,
town-
something that I want you to have in mind, please. Look at your budgets because you guys have,
we took out money from 4th of July.
Yeah, I know.
hold on.
I think that's
The
what,
4th of July money that you took out is not reflected in the budget. anymore.
Right.
Remember, because that's gonna take a while. So,
right. That's
Unless-
yesterday.
so anyways, what I want you guys to keep in mind is, let's say the transfer of funds doesn't hit. You guys do 4th of July, you have a budget of $11,000. Something that I don't know, because I know we've had a few new committee members. I included in your packet, in your agenda packet. I believe it's the last page, actually. This is what was spent on 4th of July last, a total of $22,573.
Holy moly.
Keep in mind that that does not include fireworks. The town pays for fireworks individually. We have a line item on it,
We spent 22,000 just for here.
just for 4th of July events.
CAC, that's all?
The CAC,
Yes, these are all the expenses. So you guys know what it is.
Well, that's because half of the stuff that we do is because the council wants it.
So here's what I need you guys to look at. Please pay attention to this. Decide what are the things that you are gonna do and what you're not gonna do based on the fact that you have $11,000 of a budget. Now,
So we need a subcommittee for sure.
Okay, so I
Okay.
send.
and keep in mind that if you do have an event, there are certain things that are non-negotiable. If you have an event, we need to have a cleaning crew to pick up litter. We need to have portable toilets and
How much do we-
portable toilets.
How much do we get from the vendor? Is that hours? Is that hours? Is that?
Yes, no, that goes back to yours, to your budget.
I don't.
So,
see-
no, because this is just expense. This isn't how much money came in. I'm just telling you how much it costs to put on the event. So it cost you guys 22,000. So keep in mind that that's 11,000 is what you have to put on stage permits, litter removal. Like, I don't know that the committee is fully aware of like the amount of expenses that go into this. And it's something that I really want you guys to please look at.
And if we don't have the money, then I guess we don't do the event, and the council gives us the extra money.
Yeah. I wanted to
Really,
ask
that's
her,
up
how
to
do-
the discretion of the,
How do we request funds? Because I was watching the video and Neil was asking, for the additional events and everything. How do we get additional
when
funds? to
actually
CAC?
you guys will start planning your budget. Probably your next meeting, you have to start
Right.
giving a drafted budget of what you want next year to look like. And
Okay, so that's probably when we need to request more.
so there are
money.
certain things that you're always gonna have to do, like toilets and litter removal, because we do
That's
the
a
show,
big difference.
we do the fireworks show, but
But
if
we
you're
don't
gonna
have
do a
to-
band, but if you do a band, then you need stage permits and.
Well,
And the
just
stage
sent-
alone was
I
10,
already
11,
sent it. I sent your email
$11,000.
to Michael, but okay.
I'm sorry.
Waive that?
I'm sorry. 'cause
We're all
you guys
talking
are-
at the
you're all
same
talking at the
I sent your email,
same time.
it's already done.
Great, thank you.
If he's available, he will be the first.
Lisa, you were gonna say something?
It is not a town event. I mean, it's an event that comes out of cultural affairs. The only thing the town takes care of is the fireworks. Like so that doesn't come out of your budget. That's why you don't see fireworks in
Which
this
is
expense.
30,000, thank God.
It is $30,000. The town takes care of that. It does not come out of your budget.
You print 17.
Yeah, because we're like double funded.
So the permitting, 'cause I know,
And I have a quote. I already moved on getting a quote for you guys on stage and permit alone, so you understand how expensive it is.
Yeah,
when they
between
come,
that is 15,000.
You can look at the screen. This is a quote replicating the same stage as last.
I just don't. think
$11,000.
that- I don't think the town's being realistic.
And
if
that's
they want-
including the permits?
I don't think the town's being realistic if they want us to have this event when we have a $12,000.
That's for you guys to
expenditure.
decide, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, you're super
And
underfunded.
this is including the permits or
Whenever
no?
you.
So that's what I'm trying to get at, guys. These are the major expenses, that's why I have a quote.
So
$11,000 for the stage alone, and there's a permit that costs $5,000.
And this is based
Wow,
on
that's
last
So
year.
you're talking about six,
Last year.
no, this is last.
$17,000.
Oh, this is-
$17,000.
So I would, suggest or make a motion that the subcommittee come back with
Numbers.
some numbers and maybe a suggestion of whether or not we can do this for the
Okay.
subcommittee.
Look at your thing. We just don't even have that money budgeted,
I know.
period.
We're underfunded.
It is
Yeah.
underfunded. You can see it right there. If we eliminate everything else and just have that event, not even with what we have available, we have enough to have this 4th of July.
Now you have
To
maybe
pay
1,000 or 2 that come in between 1 or 2 sponsors and food trucks, just something to keep in mind.
It runs on the drive. Look at, you have 16,000.
The budget is 16,000 and that's 22.
You don't have any, sponsorship or donation last year?
Yeah, we had one.
And how much was that one?
Yeah, but it's a lot of money. We're getting 12 grand.
Still a lot that you're putting out.
You just don't have.
And
it
these are,
unless they give it
and
to you.
this quote is high already because it's a new year. and
Yeah, this is
everything went up.
this year, this reflects this year's quote, they just sent it to me yesterday.
Wow.
So just in the stage
Now,
is 2,000
You
higher.
guys can think of maybe doing a smaller stage, it won't look as nice, but I'm just
It's such a-
explaining
it's
that
such a nice
you have
and
to
big
bring
event
it
that I
to
think
that.
we need to tell council we need the
I
funding
need the
because,
funding thing.
I mean, you can't continue to downplay every event, especially the 4th of July.
And
This is
right
a
now, there
similar
was
event.
no way they were gonna move any money from here. We don't have any money to move.
Even if we were to
from
make cancel everything and move it, we still would have.
We still don't have enough money. If you wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, at the next council meeting, I think you need to ask for more money for Lisa,
For the 4th of
for
July,
the 4th of July.
Or let us collaborate with several other committees.
or other committees to
Right,
get
Mindy?
funding because.
They're not.
Yeah,
they're all
and they
running-
do,
but they're all
they
running.
do use our event to promote it.
Well, that's
Like the
fine.
vendors,
They
we
said,
don't
let's
mind
Right,
collaborate.
the problem is they don't have
You know,
extra.
you
But
funds.
they don't have
Yeah.
extra money.
The
Let's be
vendors
honest.
can use the event.
I think
and
that
that's
needs to be brought to the attention of council because I don't think they're aware of how underfunded
You
we are.
don't have the funding for
So
it.
you could maybe include that in your report.
Yeah.
On May 9th.
So I'm sorry, you're making a vote for subcommittee, I just want to.
Yeah, I make a motion that we create a July 4th, subcommittee to discuss the budget.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, are we,
Who's the chair, Charles, you're the chairperson?
Yeah,
Is there any date?
I'm gonna ask Liz, see if Liz.
You're the chair for the 4th? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna ask Liz if she will, co-chair with me.
I thought that's what we were doing.
That's a family reunion for me, and it's a good possibility. That day, I'll be gone, but I'll have everything. for everything.
Felicia says she's the chairperson. for
Yeah,
the
but the
4th of
4th of July, remember from last time we spoke?
Oh, that's right.
Because, no, the ones that you're sharing is the corral
Yeah.
and the. Secretary.
Okay, I was just asking, because I was gonna ask you what days would be bad, so that she knows not to.
It's okay, I'll work
But
with
it's
the chair. I'll
So
work
not
with the
Felicia.
chair.
So.
Is there any way we can get to council though before to try and get the funds? Because 4th of
If
July
we
is
don't have the
right
funds,
there.
I even have a committee.
So my question is, in that report that we're doing, we can't include that in. the
I
meeting?
think that would be the opportunity to speak. to them. So,
Thank you. And that's
It's
what I'm
May 9th.
saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
May 9th.
right
That's
now,
the
hold on, wait,
first-
no, there's a motion on the table though to create.
No,
this
no,
agreement.
no, I was just,
Can I make a motion to reconsider the town?
You can
the way it
back to
relates? Okay.
Right, so the motion on the table is Felicia, made a motion to create a subcommittee for 4th of July. Burnett seconded. Discussion, none, we're voting, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes unanimously. There's gonna be a second motion by Esther.
I'd like a motion to amend the report that's going to the council on May 2023. And include
May
the.
9th.
May 9th.
Excuse me, it says May 2023 with the May 9th. Paper on the May 9th. Council meeting on the bottom. To indicate the shortfall, because without funding, why even have a committee?
For the 4th of July.
Right, for the 4th of July.
I second that
Is there
motion.
consideration?
Well, yes,
Okay,
if we don't have the fund, why have a committee? Why not the event?
So on the future project, consider the 4th of July
Funding.
funding.
Okay, I second that motion, discussion. Hearing none, we're ready to vote, all in favor of amending.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
And Felicia, if you took this with you, that's all you need to show.
Yeah.
The 22,000,
And you only have 11.
and that we're budgeted for with 11, and our
Even if we
entire
cancel-
budget is
I
16.
think, I think the education advisory board also discussed that in the comments.
But the Fourth
But
of
they-
July.
they
is a-
had-
it's a
No,
big
I know,
event.
but it's an issue that all communities are going through the same thing. So.
Okay,
But the Fourth of July is like the biggest thing Miami does.
okay, so we're done with that.
So, Felicia, can we say how much are we asking them for?
No, we're gonna-
No, until we get the budget.
no.
Also, we don't have.
Well, that's.
Well, no,
22,000.
no, I'm saying when you're addressing the council, they're gonna say, so how much more do you want us to raise it for?
Because that 22,000 that you have there,
We need
That's
double.
last year's prices.
right, it doesn't include this. This price is huge compared to what you have on that.
What are we
No,
projecting?
no, that's
No.
only like,
It's maybe like
1,200.
1,000.
So what's the projection? We need at least 11 grand more because we only have 11 grand for the event
We need like 25,000 dollars.
in total.
I would say 15,000.
And
Let's
we
say-
have 11. So 15,000,
Yeah.
a safe number.
Okay, 15,000.
Okay.
Alicia, we're asking for 15.
Thank you.
We got 11 and projected at least 22.
Okay.
One last question. Yesterday, I know they had the budget.
They put all the surplus
They
money.
mentioned, did they have a budget
Yes.
discussion?
Yeah, they approved the budget surplus of 1.3 million. And had the.
Yeah, I know, but did they mention anything about the committees or? was
No, we're not there
something-
yet. We're
No,
not there yet.
That's
That's what I needed to.
We have 2 items left on the agenda, D and E. D is meeting times and items discussed in the
We can
meeting.
table that one. I think the issue I mentioned is that we need to, like, each comment, or not, I know the stuff we need to discuss, but
Okay, so we're gonna table D, motion to table,
Yes.
C.
Table.
limitation is to have,
Any second, all
because she said something about.
second,
Guys, we're tabling it.
right,
Tabling it.
Next week.
table. Any discussion? Vote to table item B.
I,
Any nays? Hearing none, motion to table passes unanimously.
And then the last item, if you're interested in going to the tour where the cabinet is, I think the exhibit ends on May 18th. Just, you know,
it's currently going on now.
it's currently going on, you can go on your own, or we can go as a group.
Where is it? Do you have the address?
It's
Hollywood.
Oblivion, I'll have.
I can send you them.
So the lady said that she would be, to be there.
Okay, so I will send those location.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, wait,
And
announcement?
announcements?
What's the date of the next meeting?
Oh, announcement,
I'm
we have
sorry,
some
you-
upcoming events at St. Thomas. We have our first musical that we're ever doing, April 20th to 30th, the Great Gospel, and I can email some information. Tickets are free, family show,
Free?
What time?
April 28th to 30th.
I like free.
And what time
What
is this
time?
show?
7 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Say that.
And where is that at? Some-
Is that
It will
free?
be at Pace High School.
At Pace High School. And this is the first ever St. Oh, congratulations.
That's
First
right.
ever what?
Dr. Elizabeth. And she
Second-
did the music, Pace High School.
Next
From
meeting.
St. Thomas,
May 10th.
the 28th, 29th, and 30th of April, this month.
April 28th.
Yeah, okay.
And you'll send it to information.
And it's 7 o'clock, 3 o'clock matinee on Sunday at Pace High School.
May 10th is the next meeting?
And a former student of Miss Santana, Miss Chupani will be in the show. We got
Guys, there's a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so who made the
Second.
motion?
Make the motion.
Second. Ah, who made the motion?
Alicia.
Thank you.
8:46 PM.
Second.
Seconded
We're
by,
doing a little bit better. I think we spend a little bit too much.
meeting has adjourned at 8:00.
But then we're gonna have a subcommittee and then like I
It's
said,
official?
let's make sure that we discuss
One.
things.
What's that?
briefly, and then what